quick update. It is May 14th at midnight. So we are just past midnight on the 14th at let's see, about 10 o'clock on the 13th Eastern Time at 2 a.m. UTC time. We have taken another X class 1.69 from 3664 region and the outgoing limb. So it has not been done. So it has given us a very long duration M class flare, another small M class flare, and then a rather good size X class flare today. And it is continuing with the activity in a much slower time scale. Again, looking back at CMEs, since we have had the halo with the M class flare here, we have a full halo hit off that M class flare this morning. We have another full strong halo signature coming there. We have a earth directed CME coming out of, I believe you'll find it was a from 76. A flare coming out of here, probably out of 70 or 72. Another one coming out of 70 or 72. But you can see here we have a very long time period. We're having very strong density, full halo CMEs. These will be incoming probably on the 16th and 17th. And you can see here it's just starting about noon UTC time on the 13th, starting to slow down a little bit. And we're starting to incur the snow from that at about 1900 UTC. So that's when the flare potential is hitting. And we have that incoming. Looking at the auroral forecast incoming on the 14th. Tomorrow evening, we are looking for that peak to come in just before dawn or before dark, early or late afternoon hours into about 8 o'clock to midnight UTC time into midnight. Early morning hours, you should start to see some elevated activity. Now, bringing this back into perspective, keeping in mind we now have 64 is a beta gamma delta. 76 is a beta gamma delta that is earth facing. 70 is in the active zone. It is beta gamma. 75 is right behind 64. It is in the earth facing zone. It is beta gamma. 79 is on our incoming limb. It is beta gamma. And we have 70 that is earth facing or in the active zone. It is beta gamma. So we have a lot of active sunspots that have the polarity tightly woven enough that they can drop very large CMEs with flaring, and they are potential threats to our power grids, to our cell phones. And look for the continuing disruption for internet services. Cell phone coverage will be spotty and broken. If you're having poor cell phone reception, it's because we continue to have these cell phones that are a problem. Now, looking ahead to our weather, we are clouded out tonight. It should be partly clearing into some regions. Tuesday night, we should have a few clouds, mostly clear. Wednesday night, mostly clearing skies. And then by Thursday night, we should start to see a return of some rain. Friday night, we should start to see some clearing. And then return of rain on the 18th. And we should begin into a couple nights of rain with some clearing. And we're going to be into this rain and clearing sky mix as several big fronts go through, mostly down in the lower regions of our country. Probably going to see a tornado outbreak of 2 down in the southern regions. This is going to be ongoing. Look for these newer sunspots to make the rotation around. I do think 64 may drop a kill shot, but hopefully it happens as it's going around that incoming limb or outgoing limb on the backside of the sun. If it does not drop a kill shot on that backside of the sun, then it will more than likely survive the rotation and be back in 2.5 weeks and be a threat to us again, and could be back to be something that could potentially drop some very big storms if it maintains its current state. These sunspots that are developing now have a lot of energy, and I do think we're going to see a very active June. Now, remember, when we're looking at the forecasting for when we look at ahead for our 27-day forecast here, they can only do that based on where they think there's a high probability for coronal holes, because coronal holes last longer and are more dependable and more predictable. So they are basing our long-term forecast on coronal holes, not on sunspots, which can collapse very rapidly. They develop rapidly, they collapse rapidly. So we are looking at, we had several coronal holes move through, and they're basing our forecast on coronal holes, not on sunspots. You have to look at the backside of the sun forecast on SDO. Let's see if I can pull this up. You want to come to the bottom of the SDO page, and you want to look at these sunspots that are coming back around. Right here's our our limb, what's on our limb and what's coming in. Here's our big 64, 75, and our 76. Here's the incoming limb coming in here. And then we've got our back side of the sun, and you can begin to see we have some very well developed holes on the back side of the sun that will be rotating in. So you want to look at that back side of the sun to guess, hey, I've got some bigger sunspots. They look very well developed, and those will be moving back in. And keep an eye on where 64 goes. Other than that, we're going to keep an eye on everything, and I will bring you updates as something happens. We are not out of the realm of danger. Just because the 76 is much smaller than 64, it is still fully capable of dropping the same size storm that 64 was capable of dropping. As is the others, as is 70, 75, and 79. They all could drop a major X-class flare at any time. Each and every one of them could drop something that could wipe our power grid out. So do not think just because they look smaller that they're any less dangerous. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I will keep you updated. Everybody have a good night.